Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, an investigation will be launched into the acquisition of operations of Amplia Communications Limited, a subsidiary of state-owned TSTT. Responding to questions from the media on Thursday, Minister of Public Utilities Barry Padarath said discussions with TSTT's management revealed that Amplia has been draining financial resources and duplicating existing operations, not to mention their service. They increased the fees recently, and yet you ain't getting no higher speed. As a matter of fact, we're getting a whole lot more problems with both the cable and internet. I am saying that my family has issues with it. A lot of people all in San Grande having issues with it. He added that inquiries into the state-owned company's 2017 acquisition of Amplia from Massey Communications Limited, when the UNC was in opposition, indicated that the government of the time was unaware of the circumstances surrounding the purchase. What is it? It's either they were unaware or they just turned their eye. Amplia, then known as Massey Communications Limited, was acquired by TSTT in 2017 for over $200 million, which, according to Minister Padarath, was much more than the company's valuation. I wonder why eat a food under the P&M, you know, people. Let's see where this ends up going. If they end up shutting down that, well, you know, the P&M pages going and say, oh gosh, look, they shut down another company again, and cause a whole set of people to lose their jobs. I mean, that is true to an extent, but I mean, if they're providing the same service as TSTT, then why continue to have them part of the company? That's not making any sense at all. At least in my opinion, not making any kind of sense. And besides that, their service leaves you wanting it really poor at this point in time.
Amplia continues to bleed us financially. There's a lot of duplication of efforts between Amplia and TSTT. I am advised that a company that was 1/10 or less thereof of the acquisition price that TSTT paid for Amplia was the value of Amplia at that time, and therefore questions have to be answered.
Amplia, then known as Massey Communications Limited, was acquired by TSTT in 2017 for over $200 million, which, according to Minister Padarath, was much more than the company's valuation.
Company valued at such a small value be acquired at such a large figure without any cabinet or ministerial approval, and therefore it tells me there's more in the mortar than the pestle. And therefore, we will be launching an investigation in terms of how Amplia was acquired, the circumstances, the financing, and who made that decision to acquire Amplia, a company that continues to bleed and duplicate the efforts of the main company, which is TSTT.
A new chapter in Trinidad and Tobago's dairy industry began on Thursday with the commissioning of a 300-liter pasteurization plant at the Sugarcane Feed Center in Londonville. The initiative, led by the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, is aimed at strengthening domestic agro-processing capacity while building a more resilient local dairy value chain. Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Ravi Ratiram said the initiative addresses long-standing challenges within the sector and provides dairy farmers with a reliable pathway to convert raw milk into value-added products. The minister added that the initiative will be supported by practical training in improved forage systems and pasture management aimed at lowering input costs and improving on-farm productivity. It didn't really used to be hearing any type of investment taking place in the livestock and agricultural sector here in Trinidad and Tobago under the mighty Morphin Ghana and P&M. But a lot of things that you were not hearing taking place under the UN and P&M, of course, is taking place now under the UNC, and rightfully so. That's wonderful news coming out again from the United National Congress government.
The activation of this facility is particularly significant within the current context of declining domestic milk production and increasing pressure on the national food import bill.
Speaking at the commissioning of a 300-liter pasteurization plant on Thursday, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Annalene Ennis, stressed that the new plant represents a revitalization of the local dairy processing industry, one geared toward reducing imports while boosting domestic supply. Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Ravi Ratiram said the initiative addresses long-standing challenges within the sector and provides dairy farmers with a reliable pathway to convert raw milk into value-added products.
The operationalization of this pasteurization plant represents a targeted intervention to decentralize dairy processing and democratize market access.
The minister added that the initiative will be supported by practical training in improved forage systems and pasture management, aimed at lowering input costs and improving on-farm productivity.
Additionally, the ministry will facilitate the introduction of superior dairy genetics to improve herd performance and milk yield, supported by enhanced extension services to deliver continuous science-based guidance to farmers.
The facility is designed to operate as a decentralized processing hub, providing dairy farmers with a dependable outlet for fresh raw milk while enabling the production of a range of value-added dairy products. The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries reaffirmed its commitment to ongoing collaboration with farmers, industry stakeholders, and development partners as efforts continue to drive innovation, improve productivity, and position the dairy sector for long-term sustainable growth.
Trinidad and Tobago weather report for Friday, April 24, 2026. Fair to partly cloudy skies with periods of increased cloudiness bringing scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. This activity is expected particularly during the late morning and afternoon. High temperatures will reach around 30 degrees Celsius. Current conditions. Temperature, 23 degrees Celsius. Feels like 26 degrees Celsius. Wind, 5 miles per hour from the east. Humidity, 92%. Weather hazards and marine outlook. Saharan dust. Mild concentrations of Saharan dust are expected to slightly haze the skies. Sensitive individuals are advised to take necessary precautions. Thunderstorm hazards. In the event of heavy downpours or thunderstorms, expect street or flash flooding and gusty winds. Marine conditions. Slight to moderate sea swells measuring 1.0 meters to 1.5 meters in open waters and below 1.0 meters in sheltered areas.
Regional news now. Yesterday, President Dr. Irfan Ali opened the US $29 million 4 Points by Sheraton Hotel at the Houston Yards along the Heroes Highway corridor. The 172 property owners' modern suites with smart workspaces alongside dining and Amara social restaurant and bar and the Best Brews lobby bar. Facilities include an outdoor pool, wow, lovely, 24-hour fitness center, really good as well, and over 16,000 square feet of meeting and event space. The investment adds to Guyana's growing hospitality and business infrastructure, which of course will continue to boost the tourism industry in Guyana under the Irfan Ali administration. And I keep reminding people that this was never just about winning an election, because look at it. He won overwhelmingly. This is his consecutive term, and he continues to perform significantly. And Guyana continues to progress and develop at an exponential rate. Rainfall is threatening to delay island-wide reconstruction efforts following Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica, as Caribbean Cement Company Limited says its operations are being hampered by adverse weather conditions. We have to really continue to pray for our brothers and sisters in Jamaica. I mean, that Hurricane Melissa was really devastating to their island, and then all this adverse weather continues to affect them. The development could further slow repairs to damaged homes, businesses, and public infrastructure, already facing setbacks from material shortages, limited labor, rising prices, and increased transportation costs. Rainfall is also delaying progress on work sites as the Meteorological Service of Jamaica said the inclement weather is expected to persist through the weekend. People just want to get their lives back to normal, and it's making it much harder with this weather. But then once again, by the way, we don't want the rain, you will not water, but still. In a statement yesterday, Carib Cement said ongoing showers have disrupted production due to challenges with raw materials and equipment. And we're not even in the rainy season yet. That's the thing about it. Opposition leader Dr. Ralph Gonsalves in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is questioning the viability of the proposed National Development Bank, which is intended to provide financial support to underserved groups in the country. He concerned. Your concerns. Why people voted out of office, Gonsalves. In his contribution to the debate on the NDB, Dr. Gonsalves said there are already several existing government programs that provide similar services. And people voted here out, including financing for individuals and businesses. He argued that these mechanisms should be strengthened rather than introducing a new institution. Why you then strengthen them? Hey, Gonsalves? Gonsalves. Dr. Gonsalves also raised concerns that the proposed bank would become a drain on the consolidated fund, warning that it may place additional pressure on public finances. In his wrap-up, Dr. Gonsalves stated that he does not fully support the establishment of the bank. Well, the citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines clearly appear to be not supporting you at this point in time. So your opinion, don't keep it to yourself because you're opposition. And it's important for democracy to have an opposition. But don't go opposing for opposing sake, just like PNM here in Trinidad and Tobago. My goodness.
All in favor of credible, viable instruments to further develop small businesses and medium-sized businesses. But the point I'm saying that there are institutions here already which you can look at carefully. Look at them, evaluate them, and see in our own circumstances, because you may well end up with your National Development Bank where the funding is just not available at rates of interest and on terms to make it viable. There are aspects of it which are like, as they say, motherhood and apple pie, which anybody can agree with, certain declaratory statements. But insofar as giving the National Development Bank the support here, as what is presented, I regret that I'm unable to do so for the reasons that I have just outlined. But in favor of objectives to develop our country and to develop it sustainably and to create jobs, to create wealth, prosperity, and within a peaceful...
The Central Bank of Barbados, under the leadership of Governor Dr. Kevin Greenidge, is taking a monumental step toward administrative modernizing by committing to a fully paperless 100% digital operation by the target date of December 21st, 2026. In my opinion, that's something like it's just about the documents, I guess. It's so much like you're ushering in the Antichrist system. But anyhow, once you do actually end up going cashless, where people just have to be getting paid to the banks, that Miamotli is going to be a real issue. This initiative is deeply rooted in the bank's broader strategy to enhance operational efficiency, promote environmental sustainability, and lead by example in the nation's digital transformation agenda. But what if everything just shuts down? What if all the computers shut down and the whole system shuts down? You don't have any backup with paper documents. What could happen? You lose everything then. I don't know. I'm not saying it really does take up a lot of space when you have to be keeping all these documents and things like that. I think it should have like a balance to an extent. But then it takes a whole lot of more time and work and effort to be printing out all these things as well. So maybe it's a good idea. Not the cashless system though. Not the cashless system. By eliminating physical paper workflow and transitioning entirely to digital record keeping, And communication, the institution is projected to save over $70,000 annually in printing and material costs alone. You see what I tell you? It really does take a lot more effort and time and money to be printing and storing all these documents. Beyond these immediate fiscal benefits, the transition serves a critical infrastructure upgrade that will streamline internal processes, reduce the bank's carbon footprint, oh God, you're setting carbon footprint, but anyhow, and align its operations with international digital banking standards. But as I said before, what if something global happens and the whole system shuts down? You sure you're going to be able to recover everybody's information? I don't know, boy. That is just, I just find it a little concerning. I don't know who's out there that might agree with me when it pertains to this. Dr. Nicholas Fox, a veteran medical professional and the Free National Movement candidate for Fox Hill, has publicly condemned the current Progressive Liberal Party administration, claiming that the Bahamian healthcare system has severely deteriorated under their governance. Now, if that is really true, that's really concerning. But of course, we all know a lot of propaganda comes out during election time, especially if it's the PNM. And I'm not sure which party aligns with the PNM across there at this point in time. Grounding his critique in his 30 years of medical experience and his personal perspective as a cancer survivor, Dr. Fox argues that the government has failed to protect patient safety and properly fund the National Health Insurance Program. To resolve these national discrepancies and support parallel complaints from candidates in family islands like Andros, where residents must regularly pay for basic medical access, the FNM has rolled out a comprehensive comprehensive healthcare strategy. But it's just like PNM. PNM has a lot of nice strategies. They just don't ever really implement it while in offices. So once again, we don't know. Time alone will tell when it pertains to even this issue. This plan promises to expand NHI to cover catastrophic care, boost nursing pay and housing to resolve staff shortages, and implement direct clinic upgrades across the archipelago to ensure that non-urban Bahamians receive consistent, dependable medical services. Sounds really wonderful, people. But it's if they're going to keep their promise. Just like PNM a lot of the times during a campaign, they promise to do a whole lot for the people. When they're in office, they make excuses as to why they can't. Now, people about the UNC doing that as well. Yes, some of it. But they're fulfilling a lot of promises. And I do believe in time, when the economy begins to recover, a lot of the other promises that they made during the campaign, they're going to fulfill as well. They have a history of a track record of doing so. But we have to remember our economy was totally and utterly destroyed under the PNM for the past 9.5 years.
Let me speak plainly about what has happened to healthcare in our Bahamas under an uncaring PLP. Neglect, care undone. Our nurses are burnt out. I'm sure Nurse Oliver can speak to that. Working 24 hours a day with minimal equipment, minimal medication, and stressed right out. Exactly. Our doctors are leaving. Clinics on the family islands go weeks without basic supplies. Dental services are inconsistent, sometimes for months. Some months they're here, other months they're not. I have heard from Androsians who have had to fly to Nassau for care. That should be available right here in Andros.
International news now. The intense verbal standoff between Department of Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer highlights a deeply fractured debate over national border security and federal funding. The Democrats don't want the borders to be secure. That's just the reality, people. They lie and say they're concerned during the election period, but besides, other than that, they love to just leave the borders open so that their voters can come in. I shall say no more. The conflict erupted when Senator Schumer publicly stated on the Senate floor that nobody in the United States respects immigration and customs enforcement of the Border Patrol, accusing the agencies of overstepping their bounds amid a broader push by Democrats for systemic operational reforms. Bear in mind, people, I'm not no fanatic either, and I do believe there are times when there are cases of abuse, even amongst the Border Patrol, and those are things that Republicans, if they really want to continue expanding their voter base, they need to show concern about that as well, people. While enforcing the law, do it with compassion, do it in a proper way, conduct yourself professionally, in a professional way. Secretary Mullen, defending his personnel, swiftly condemned the senator's remarks as incredibly disrespectful to frontline law enforcement officers. I understand, but as I said before, there's even video footage at times showing cases of abuse. Republicans need to acknowledge that as well. I'm not saying to go radical like the left, but be moderate now, man. Oh gosh, why people just can't be like that and just put aside politics at times? Pointing to the real-world stakes of the ongoing dispute, Mullen emphasized that a prolonged legislative deadlock had already caused partial agency shutdowns and left thousands of personnel operating without guaranteed pay, which is an issue, and the Democrats should not be doing that at all. This public collision reflects a growing ideological divide over domestic immigration enforcement and the future of federal border agency accountability. The Israeli Defense Force struck the launcher that launched several rockets from Lebanon toward the Sea of Shutula last night, actually, or sometime yesterday. You see, again, my dear tribal Trinis, is either two things. Sometimes, yes, when they hear there's going to be a planned strike from terrorist groups like Hezbollah, the Houthis, or even the IRGC and the Ayatollah in Iran, yes, preemptive strikes, they will take action and be proactive and therefore strike first. But there are cases like this. Israel said, you know what, okay, Trump wants the ceasefire, all right, we are going to abide by the ceasefire. And then Hezbollah doesn't listen, and Hezbollah decides to still attack. And then the world, especially the tribal Trinis, say, no, Israel not supposed to retaliate, you know. No, just allow Hezbollah to do whatever they want. The IDF struck, likewise, an additional loaded and ready to launch launcher was struck. The launcher posed a threat to the IDF soldiers and the state of Israel. You see that part of it? Being proactive. They realize, okay, it has another launcher. Strike that and get rid of it one time.
Bible quote of the day. For a small moment I have forsaken you, but with great mercies will I gather you. In a little wrath I hid my face from you for a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on you, says the Lord your Redeemer. For this is as the waters of Noah to me, for as I have sworn that the waters of Noah should no more go over the earth, so have I sworn that I would not be wroth with you, nor rebuke you. For the mountains may depart and the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from you, neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed, says the Lord that has mercy on you, as written in Isaiah chapter 54 verses 7 to 10.
Okay, so to the faithful viewers that I have who watch the entire news reports and headline news reports on a daily basis, I will no longer be posting the interesting facts and travel segment on a daily basis. Only on a Saturday and Sunday from now on. I'm not doing it this Saturday and Sunday either. But from next week, God's willing, on a weekend, I will be posting both the travel segment and interesting facts in the both news reports. Having said that, folks, that brings us to the end of today's headline news. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.